Hello everyone, Turner Burner here with another video for you guys. This is going to be a discussion video over a couple of topics. First, I want to get into the fact that I just updated my score table 4 months ago for the first time. All the scores, except for a few enemies, were released so everyone can see. Like if you were interested in score runs at that time, this was about June, I believe. You were able to click a PDF and see how each enemy was broken down into time reduction, whether it's elite hunters, juvies, drones, things of that nature. You able to see and cross compare the time reduction across all enemies relative to 45% score boost. What I did today, partially because I've been re-inspired to get into score runs. I haven't done score runs in probably 2 or 3 months, but lately I've been interested in it again. There's two players that I've been playing with the last I want to say week, and it's been fun again. Partially because we don't do anything sketchy, we'll say, to put it nicely. We just play straight up, just normal stuff you'll see in videos in the future, I'm sure. So because we're just focusing on improving ourselves, it makes it more fun for me and makes it more interesting. It's not as fun as solo runs because that's the real challenge for me, but score runs is probably the best three-person challenge that I could hope for. But yeah, I've been re-inspired to get into score runs again. I took the time today to update my PDF that I did 4 months ago. So what I did for the PDF is there's new enemies as well that's not in the previous operation. So like the Deadeyes, the Peacemakers, obviously the Swarmak, the Snatcher. I could be forgetting something else audibly, but yeah, all the enemies that weren't in the previous operation, the Oppressors, the Devastators, the Sentinels, the Guardians. They are in this PDF based off of 53% score boost. And I actually was surprised. Some of the stuff I actually didn't know. I knew some enemies were worth more than others, but I actually didn't know. Like, for instance, I didn't know the DR1 Oppressor and the DR1 Devastator had different values. So you'll see stuff like that in the PDF if you're interested. I'll link it in the description below. And if you see a typo, I'll correct it immediately. Let me know. But I looked at it a few times over, so it should be all good. But so yeah, every enemy's in there except the flock because it was just going to take too much time to generate a flock on the map forever, or a flock on the map. One of the Hives, I believe. So there's only 2 maps that have the flock. So it was just not generating today. So I just went without it. If you guys ever find a flock in your match, you can let me know the value and I'll put it in the table. But it was just taking too long, so I moved on. But updated score table based off of the new enemies. The Swarmak, Matriarch, Snatcher, and all the robot enemies as well. There's some things that you'll find fascinating if you don't already know. So that's pretty much it for that. So yeah, that'll be updated. If there's more score boosts, if the score boosts increase next operation, I will update it again, but I just kind of follow what I'm interested in because I could have updated it earlier, but I wasn't really into score runs. But since I've gotten back into it, I thought it'd be cool to improve upon something I took a lot of time to do. The first time around, it took me like 8 hours to put it all together, but since all the things were already in place, I just had to tweak some math things here and there. It only took me probably 2 or 3 additional hours. So yeah, you should see great value in it. And if you see something you think is incorrect, also let me know that as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the score table. Next, I want to talk about the Operation 4 review, how I feel about what the coalition has done with mainly the hives. I want to touch on the horde maps. I'm not really all that into horde, so the only thing I could really mention about Horde is I really, really like the reactor. I really like the look of it, I like the feel of it. It's fun to play, but I've only played it a few times because I'm really not all that into Horde anymore like I used to be. But the reactor is probably my favorite Horde map in general. I just like the look of it. So yeah, I think that was a very good map there. But mainly, I want to talk about the highs because that's really what I'm interested in as well. So let's go to, let's see. So the hives I want to touch on. So first of all, since it's out right now, the mist is a very, very easy hive. I'm going to make that a negative. I'm not really all that interested in easy hives, but I do like the fact that it does have, the carrier, the matriarch, options after the safe room. It's as far as venom speed, it's reasonably challenging. The venom can catch up on you if you can't catch up on you if you're not fast enough. But it's a pretty easy hive. So I think other than that, this is probably my least favorite hive of the operation. This and ambush because they're just kind of overly simple in my opinion. But the hives I do like are these three right here that kind of they're perfectly laid out for me. So the gatekeepers, the idea that you have to kill something before going to the next section is a very unique idea to any escape map. Why I appreciate that is because there's a lot of solo runs or score runs where you might be able to run by a section of enemies and things of that nature. The gatekeepers put you in a position where you have to kill the Sentinel or Guardian, you have to kill Swarmac or Matriarch. So I believe that map is probably one of my favorites of this operation. The only downfall of the gatekeepers is, and this is probably only going to affect like 5 people, but if you do solo runs and you are in the gatekeeper's hive, since there's no Iron Man for too long, after about an hour and a half, 2 hours, the frame rate starts to drop. That would be the negative about the gatekeepers. But besides that, I really got no real issues with that map. The split, and that goes. You'll probably notice a theme here for these 3 maps that I actually think they are an excellent challenge, even on a 3-person level. The split and the onslaught as well. They're excellent challenges. The onslaught, honestly, as the last week, I've been completing it a few times and killing every single enemy like 3 or 4 times on all the completions or whatever the past couple weeks or week I should say. And it might be honestly my favorite map. I got to really think about it. My favorite map before was Ice Queen, but when I did the solo with Lizzie with Ice Queen just isn't the challenge it used to be, especially when you do a map like the split, the end, onslaught. Those maps are just, I think, much more difficult, but especially the split. But yeah, the onslaught, if you, it's such a fun map if you can find 2 people that are solid and you can kill every single enemy. I really, really enjoyed that part of the map because there is a ton of enemies. Each character is going to get like 50 plus kills when it's all said and done. So I think Onslaught may be one of my favorite maps in the game right now. Well, I'll put it at least top 5. The split, I was running into what I call ultimate delay, where I would go into a section to use my ultimate, press Y, the game wouldn't react. But besides that, the split's also a good challenge. I'm still trying to figure this map out, and honestly, I'm trying to figure out all 3 of these maps out for score runs now that I'm into it again. And I'm having a hard time trying to figure out, different decisions I want to make as far as spawn types, character selections. All these maps are hard, I feel, in that regard. Well, at least to me, they may be easy for you, but they're hard for me to figure out. Like, okay, what exactly do I need to do? Because before the other maps in Operation 3, like the barracks, the choke, the end, in general, those weren't all that difficult to figure out for score. They're more or less obvious. But for these maps, because there's more characters available as well, and they're much harder, in my opinion. Overall, they're much harder. The split and the end are probably the two hardest maps in the game, but because they're overall much harder, if you combine them all, in my opinion, I don't know. I feel like they're just hard to figure out. Overall, these three, but malfunction. Let's see. Let's go to that hive. I don't want to forget that one. Malfunction. I just don't care for the freezing. Peacemakers. That I feel like that's a pretty tough hive as well. But it's mainly the peacemakers. It's not, surprisingly enough for me, it's not the guardians or the sentinels at the very end. If you do play it that way, it's the peacemakers for me, where it's just like they just end the game so quickly. So I don't know if I should say I'm not a fan of the map because it's challenging in that regard. I don't think that's fair, but I just didn't like the map a whole lot, mainly because of the peacemakers. But is it a bad map? No, it's a good challenge, I would say. I believe I did earlier on when the map first came out. I was JD, and that was like one of my first times playing JD in Escape, so that was exciting. But yeah, all the hives I would say for Operation 4, the split, malfunction, onslaught, ambush, gatekeepers, and the miss. I think they're all good hives, I would say. And I would say 4 of them are really good challenges. They're probably one of the harder maps in the game. The mist is extremely easy, and it's really obvious for score. The ambush, it's tough for score, but it's an easy map, I should probably say. Well, it's tough for me for score. I'm only talking from my perspective. A lot of you may think it's easy for score. But so yeah, I would say overall the hives I respected, and onslaught probably being one of my favorites because I feel like you have to be so good to get that done if you're trying to kill every single enemy, especially if you're trying to kill every single enemy and each of your teammates has 2 score boosts on. So yeah, that's about what I would say about the hives. The characters, one of the operations, releasing the characters, or all the Horde characters all the Horde characters to Escape, I think is an excellent decision because you got to see how good Kate, mainly out of all the characters, Kate and Foz basically started to dominate every Escape match. But that was probably even though that's basically it. That was still a good addition. JD is good, but I feel that JD is, because he's relying on explosives, you have to have Keegan with him. So JD's not a good Escape character due to the fact that he needs a whole nother character to be any good, in my estimation. So and Dell. You can play Dell if you want to, but there's really he doesn't have any Escape. Well, okay, he has some Escape-based cards, but not really enough to utilize. But even releasing him to Escape is still a positive due to the fact that you can you get skill cards for Horde, so you can still do that. But I don't think anyone else is specific to. But yeah, those were mainly it. So Foz and Kate being released to Escape was a huge deal because Foz got the one headshot Scions, and Kate got to do cloak meat shield and also utilize her bleed, which is very good for Escape. So there's value to both characters, mainly those two. One thing I also liked about Operation 4 is the store. So not necessarily what they offered specifically, but the fact that you could use coins to buy character skins for older characters from other operations. I think some of you didn't like this. I think you guys wanted it to be exclusive to Operation 1, 2, or 3, but I personally didn't have a lot of skins because Operation 1 I was working a lot, and I wasn't really playing the game at all. And then Operation 2 I started playing Horde a lot, so I missed a lot of the skins from Operation 1. I think this is one of them. Scar JD, Desert Armor Kate was one of them. So when they transferred, and this kind of ties into another thing, they transferred the amount of scrap you had into Gears coins. Being able to use gear coins or scrap to buy characters, I think was a great decision. At least I benefited from it. Some of the High Buster skins is kind of cool. High Buster Lizzie's cool. I was able to get Quartermaster Keegan, so I was happy that I haven't bought this one yet. I don't play multiplayer, that's why I haven't bought it. But I like the skins for the most part. I don't know how you guys feel about the gear skins, but yeah, for the most part, I feel like they made a good decision there, allowing us to use our scrap essentially to buy characters. Because that was one of my pet peeves. Because you can only use scrap to get at the time skill cards or weapon skins, but yeah, so I think doing that was a good decision on their part. One thing I don't care for as far as the store is concerned is you can't buy individual guns for individual cost. So for me, I was almost at an Art Deco complete full set. The only thing I need still, because I'm not buying a full set when I have all but two. It's out of principle. The only thing I have or need is the Lancer and Boltok. So the Lancer and Boltok are the only thing I have that's not gold. Everything else has been Art Deco since this whole operation. I have never changed skins for anything. That's just kind of, I've always liked Art Deco more than any other skin. But that's really small, and it's not really a super negative, but it is a flaw that I can't just buy Boltok and Lancer to complete my set. I got to complete the whole set when I have like 90% of the guns. Expressions I really don't care about except a few. But again, buying these for Gears coins as opposed to just iron is a good decision. I'm assuming a lot of people like that because it's not like actual money. It's stuff that you can get through escape rewards, versus rewards, or daily stars. So I'm assuming people like that. I'm not sure how many boosts there's been in this operation, but I'm sure people like, the fact that we're able to re-up easier. I know people with re-up 50 are bored, but the rest of us, can benefit from XP boost. So I'm trying to think, is there anything else that the Madman's Monsters is definitely good as far as a special event. But the thing about Madman's Monsters is it can only play it on one map. So I don't know why they don't just release it to all maps, but maybe that's just easier to do. But ultimately, I would say Operation 4 for me. I'm not going to rate it out of 10, but overall, I was more pleased than not as far as that's concerned. The escape rewards going from 4,000 to 1,000 was the wrong decision. I don't know why they did that. That was a very selfish move on their part. But I guess I actually don't know why they did that. It's very disappointing. Yeah, because 4,000 coins, it motivate people to do better at escape. 1,000 coins almost makes me want to play versus. It's so insulting that the coins I can get in a daily star, if I finish my daily stars, is the coins I can get for achieving a top time in escape. But I don't know why they did that. That was an interesting move on their part. But so that's pretty much it for Operation 4. I think I like it overall but there are issues and flaws as far as frame rate issues, game mechanics, and things of that nature. I don't know if they're going to fix any of them, and I'm not really in the mood to mention all of them. But overall, I like the operation. I would say all the maps were a good challenge. Last thing I want to mention is the escape marathon. Let's go to all the hives. So with the escape marathon, I was under the impression that it was going to take like a bunch of people to accomplish it, but I ended up getting in a really good rhythm with two groups, and I put their names on the escape marathon video. But one thing I realized is the fact that if you have really good players that you're with the whole time, it still took as long as it took. And I only lost, as far as I remember, I only lost the first match on ambush. I'm pretty sure everything else after that was on the first attempt. But I'm just going off memory, off of 32 hives. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost positive every hive was on, most of them were on the first attempt. But yeah, to do something like this, you need a lot of energy. You need solid players. A long time ago, when I was a lot younger, I guess at this point, I think I was 17 in 2009. What is it? My friends and I did 3 days straight of Gears 2 versus. Now, if you play Gears 2 versus, you know how frustrating that could be. But if you're a party of 5 for 3 days straight, it's a lot. It's a lot better than if you were solo. As an example, I don't remember being tired at all during that. Flash forward to now, when we did the escape marathon, I was legit thinking like I'm getting tired. Like it was like 7 hours in, and I'm like, oh, this isn't good. but got some water, got some juice. I was able to finish it, but I was exhausted afterwards. But I like challenges. That's just who I am in nature. So I'll be doing the escape marathon every single operation until they stop releasing hives. I don't know if they're ever going to stop releasing hives, but I'm just, I'm prepared for that because, it is TC. You never know what they're going to do. But ultimately, the escape marathon was a blast. I loved every minute of it. A lot of people tuned in on stream, like more than usual for me, so I was happy about that. But yeah, I don't know if I'd ever do anything for Horde Frenzy. I don't know if people are interested in that. Like they would. It's just not the challenge that Escape is, so I don't think that is as interesting. But you guys let me know if you think that is equally interesting. But as of right now, I don't think so. But yeah, the Escape Marathon, it was a complete success. I expected it to take 14 hours or so, and we took 3 hours less than that. It does help having great players. That way you can consistently finish maps on the first try and move on to the next map. But so yeah, and I have timestamps for the Escape Marathon. I'll link that video in the description as well. I have timestamps for every single hive. That way you can see which character I use on which hive. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'll be doing the Escape Marathon next operation at the end of it. So yeah, just stay tuned for that as well. I don't think I have anything else to add, but overall, the Escape Marathon I enjoyed, Operation 4 I enjoyed, and I will have the updated score table in the description. I have a lot of content coming out because a lot of interesting things, in my estimation, are happening, at least things that I think are interesting for my channel and Gears 5. Me getting reinterested in score runs is going to be big for me because I know a lot of people and a lot of teams are, they usually refrain from releasing their score runs for God knows why. So it will be nice to allow you guys to see probably, in all likelihood, at least a top 20, top 15 time. That way you can build off of it with the people you play with. So because that's kind of what this channel is about, where it's like you get to see whether it's a good solo run or a good score run, or at least a decent score run. When you get explanation videos as well. I want to also, even though I also want to get better, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I want to be, still want to be the best individually. I do want to elevate everyone who watches a video of me and everyone who plays with me. That's been my goal since as long as I can remember playing Escape. So if you have questions for me, I will answer it, and or at least to the best of my ability. I'm not going to lie and say I know every single character, but the characters I do know, based off of what I upload, I will answer to the best of my ability and help you guys out the best I can. But enough ranting. That's pretty much it, guys. Stay tuned for the next video. If there's something you think I should talk about or address, comment below and let me know, and I'll get to you as soon as I can. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for the next video. You guys have a good one. Peace.